Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are Your Bourbon Journey.
Welcome to day 16. We're 16 days into the Advent calendar, which means we don't have that many more days to go. What are we going to do, Wayne?
Well, we're 2/3 done, and what we're going to do is this. We are attempting to figure out what is in this glass. Is it a bourbon, a finished bourbon, a rye, a wheater, or a single malt, or a partridge in a pear tree?
Sounds like a challenge.
Well, you'll get it, because women are always right, guys.
No, we didn't. We got the last one incorrect, so let's see if we can do better today.
Oh, I think you were faking it.
Let's try the nose to start with.
Okay, nose.
It's very light. A little bit of honey, maybe?
I'm getting a little bit of cinnamon on the nose.
It's super light. I think we're going to have to taste it to find out what's really going on.
Yep. What is this?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that's a lot more going on when you taste it. Woo. I can feel it going down. This has got a little bit more proof on it than recent things.
I think so.
I'm still getting a little bit of that sweet honey kind of flavor going on.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely a fruit note and definitely some cinnamon.
Well, I do think the proof is north of 120.
I'm leaning 115.
So
I don't think it's quite hitting 120. But I think it's more about what's happening with the finish that's making you feel that way. For me, it doesn't taste hot on my palate, but the finish is, I really don't even want to say this, but I'm getting grapes. I said that yesterday and I was totally wrong, but I'm getting grapes.
I'm not getting grapes. I'm almost a little underwhelmed with it. I'm not sure why.
I'm getting grapes, and then the finish is, it's got a little bit of wood note in the finish, and it is very popish. Like a white pepper kind of popping on the finish. It's not a black pepper. It's not cinnamon on the finish. We're stumped a little bit here.
Well, I can understand why you are afraid to say something.
Yeah. I will be wrong 2 days in a row with the same guess. So I'm going to go back to the nose. I'm going to do a nose, a Kentucky Chew, and then wait for the finish and try to get that full experience to see what that might do. It's really popping on my tongue. Yeah, I do feel it. I feel it's grape, very light grapes. And I am feeling this is like probably a 115 proof. Age-wise, I'm not getting a lot of wood notes.
No.
So I'm feeling like this might be 4, maybe 5 years old.
Are you thinking this is Starlight?
I'm leaning there.
Well,
I mean, I know that was my guess yesterday, and I was very wrong.
Some of the aspects of Starlight, with what you're thinking of it, of the bottle, that is, if it's what I'm thinking, are there. Kind of starts off as bourbon. It's okay. It's not bad. Pretty good. And then it kind of goes into this effervescence.
So we're definitely guessing it's in the bourbon family.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're guessing it's Starlight, we're also probably leaning towards it being a finished bourbon.
Yes.
And if it is Starlight, the one Starlight when we really enjoy Starlight, but the one Starlight we picked for this, and we haven't had it for a while, we hit it really hard in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of put it on the shelf, and we haven't touched it for probably 5 months at least, is the one that's finished in champagne barrels.
Yes.
And this is giving me some of that vibe because it's got that, it's not like a fruitiness you get from like a rosé or a Pinot Noir finish or any of those dark red finishes or a port. It's a very light, but you can tell it's from the wine family.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be totally wrong because I was totally wrong yesterday. And he always says I'm always right, but I was totally wrong. Should we check and see what it is?
Yes.
All right. So it is sample L. Oh, I left a little drop in there. We'll have to get that drop out. We don't want to waste anything.
Water
L is a finished bourbon.
All right.
No age statement, but by law, it's at least 4 years. So it has to be a straight bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
Okay, so we were kind of split the difference on the proof. Because you said 120, I said 115.
Mm.
It is 117.8.
Well,
Talk about being in the middle.
I
We paid $74.99. It is a Starlight champagne finished bourbon. It's a
Yes.
single barrel. Single barrel.
yes. The minute you said the price, I knew it because I remember
We
'cause
bought several bottles.
we bought several bottles. We ended up talking into a gentleman that was at Starlight to even try it, and
He bought a bottle.
he bought a bottle, even though he was like at first, it doesn't sound good.
We picked up bottle. Other friends of ours tried ours, and wanted us to pick them up another bottle. So we did that too.
And every one of them that tried it really liked it. And it is a very different type of bourbon. It is not for everybody.
And I'm thinking, for me, we've talked about this. If you've been watching the Advent calendar at all, we've talked about, wow, that's probably a great winter bourbon. This I consider to be a spring and summer bourbon
Mm-hmm.
because it's got these really light notes. It's kind of really the effervescence. It really does have kind of an effervescence from the champagne, and it makes you feel like summertime. And that's why we haven't pulled the bottle out for several months because it's
Mhm.
been kind of chilly. Let me try it again. It's always interesting to try something when you know what it is. Yeah, that's it. I mean, not that's not it. I mean, we know what it is, but now I'm getting all the familiarity of that bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because your brain is hooking into what it is. And I think we just haven't had it for a while.
Yes, it's also a problematic bottle because it is one of those bourbons that, for myself, I can pick up and start hitting it over and over.
Well, we went through the first bottle really quickly.
Yes.
So we drove back to Starlight, which is a 2-hour drive for us, by the way, and it's in a different time zone. So, but I think it's great. If you have not visited Starlight Distillery, it's in Borden, Indiana. If you're coming out of Louisville, going west, you will see an exit for Huber Winery.
Yep.
And if you're coming like from the St. Louis area, going towards Louisville, so you're going east, you will see the same exit for the Huber Winery. And we passed that exit by for several years while we were doing distillery tours. And we finally made a commitment this past summer in June to go for the first time. Fell in love with it, fell in love with the people,
Mm-hmm.
the family that owns it, the beautiful property that they have, and they have this wonderful, they also do wine, but we do have several of their wines, and they have a gorgeous patio area, and in the summertime, on Saturday and Sunday, they have live music, and their kitchen is phenomenal. So you can get a bite to eat, and then when you're done, you go across the parking lot to where the farmer's market is, and they grow all this produce that is just, it's always seasonal. So it depends on what, they have a lot of U-pick stuff. We don't do the U-pick. We just go into the market and get what we want. But their tomatoes are like this big, red and juicy, and their corn on the cob is amazing. And you love their apples.
Yeah, they have these small little apples, like Kennemer, what they're called. They're not a standard apple.
But they're small green apples.
Yes,
But they don't taste like a green apple.
They're really, really good. And then to top it off, if you like ice cream,
Oh gosh.
they have bourbon ice cream there as well. They've got a bunch of different flavors, and they also have coffee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is a place that you can go where you can have lunch, you can drink wine, you could drink bourbon, you could drink coffee, you could eat ice cream, you could end up, you want to go and get produce, eat apples and
You can go
stuff like
pick
that.
berries on your own. And in the fall, they have one of the most enormous you-pick pumpkin things. And right now they have cut your own Christmas tree thing going on. But, you know, it's just, and there's families there because it is very family oriented, and there's playgrounds for the kids. I mean, I cannot say enough positive things about Starlight. And we on December 6th, so 10 days ago, we went to their VIP repeal dinner event, and it was so good. And we've been to a ton of bourbon dinners. Check out that video if you haven't yet, because it is really, I mean, it was a fantastic dinner, and and what they put out for their family picks as well as their family reserve, fantastic, just fantastic.
Well, to the Huber family, a very Merry Christmas. You kind of fooled us for a while with stuff, but it is excellent. You make excellent bourbon, excellent wine, and you're great people. Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to all of you out there. We will see you tomorrow on our next video.
Cheers.
Cheers.